There's your shot. Yeah, there's your shot.
Oh, look at that.
This week on the channel, as the dramatic music and effects kick in, we are excited to showcase to you the mini spotlight in this workshop, giving you control over your studio lighting and giving you end results that look like this. We're going to be building up the set from the previous week's video. So if you haven't seen last week's video where we showcased to you how to use gels with our model Stephen in studio, I encourage you to go back and check that out now to build up the fundamentals. It's always the same with lighting. We're building blocks one on top of the other before we go ahead and watch this video with the mini spotlight. Without further ado, let's take you into the studio and showcase how we're going to use this amazing modifier to great effect.
Hello, welcome to this workshop where we're going to be showing you how we use two things, a modifier that I wouldn't normally use and dry ice that I've become almost synonymous with using. There's almost a point in my career where I just used nothing but dry ice in shoots and everyone thought it was magic. And so much so that I kept buying these things off of eBay, these little party smoke machines for like £10, and I wondered why they kept breaking down. And I've had the same smoke machine for years now because I invested a bit of money in one, which is good. Say hello to Stephen again though. Stephen's a professional wrestler from Houston in Texas, which is a place a long way away, and he's come all the way to our amazing studio here in Portsmouth. We're delighted to have him here. On the workshop on the YouTube channel, this is like an add-on to that workshop. So on that workshop, we showed you how you can choose direction of light and how you can use it to shape a portrait and then sort of build a set by using very simple sort of colored gels, really.
Go. Let's see how that looks.
Boom, just as I predicted.
We've darkened down the background and we have those lights coming in, pink and blue either side, working with the gear to give us this really high-end finish.
We're going to elevate that shoot now using two things, and the first thing we're going to use is a mini spot. What we've set up first, if you haven't seen that video though, is we've got a softbox here just shooting out white light. Very simple there on Stephen here, which is going to give us like a very, very simple white light picture. We'll actually show that to you now. I should have set this up first. But this is the very simple white light picture that we've set up here. A little bit, almost like split lighting here. And if he just stands there with his full gear on, 3, 2, and 1, perfect. Just there, you'll see the shot coming through. Nice and simple there on a grey background, really, really easy. And then we've got the coloured gels on here, which are adding almost like kicker lights onto the side here. So one pink on one side, we chose pink on this side, and we chose blue on the other side to replicate everything that Stephen is wearing in studio here. So fairly simple. This one's going to come in here. I keep the modification lights on these just so I can see where the light's falling, and you can see how we get that. And we use that in conjunction with the white light, and it should give us nice little kicker lights on the portrait. 3, 2, 1, go. Good man. There he is. Perfect. And yeah, just coming across the portrait there. Now, with the spill on the background here, we haven't got that sort of clean, sort of gelled almost like background in there. And that's because the light, no matter how much unless we put a grid on this light or turn it right away from the backdrop, it's going to be really, really difficult to control, particularly when we've got white walls in the studio and things like that, everything bouncing around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the modification down using this, which is a mini spotlight, almost like an old school gobo. It goes on all my Elinchrom things here. Inside, it's got this little disc in here. And what that's doing there is it's putting the light through even narrower. So when the light passes through the magnification glass in here, it then passes through that tiny little spot. And you can get all sorts of different gobos to go in there to give you different shapes and different forms. And then you adjust the end here, almost like a telescope. So depending on how far away your subject is from the spotlight in itself, depends on how sharp and how small you can make that spot. As a little bit of sizzle, we mentioned grids earlier. I've got a grid in the back of this here, which looks like this. It's like a honeycomb grid, really, really fine honeycomb grid. So not only has the light got to pass through all that gubbins through the front of the spotlight, it's also got to pass through that grid when it first gets there. And only the very, very finest light that channels straight through that grid is actually going to get through. So you're going to get a real narrow beam of light. And what that should do in this instance, once we attach it to here with very little problems whatsoever, I'm sure, is we're going to see, there's our spotlight there. You can see it up on the wall first off. It's all the way over there. Can you see it up on the wall over there? Yeah, so we've got a tiny, it's over there. Or it's on the wood bit now. But we can actually shine it onto Stephen's face here. And then by moving it closer, it should go dramatically smaller to the point where I've almost got it just over the one eye. Go and have a little closer look there. So now if we were to take this portrait here, and I quite like the way that you're looking up and over to the side there for me, and lift the chin up just a fraction there for me, and turn the head slightly towards the light. That's it there. That's the expression. You should see here, we get like, oh look, a completely different look to the picture with no spillage on the background and a simple shot there. There's too much white of the eye in that shot for me and not a lot of like sort of direction. I almost want, if we're gonna focus a thing on a thing, I want that thing to focus on the other thing, that thing being the viewer, if that makes sense. And in this instance, it isn't really sort of showcasing or doing anything off. So if we turn Stephen around so he's facing this way, we see here that we're posing him first of all this way around where we've got this really wicked haircut, and he's still in between these two lights here that are giving a spill around the image. Now I can use my mini spot and I can move it around. Oh, there we go. To really focus in on the eye here, bring it down. I'm just going to test. If we go in super close, you should see that's quite a refined edge because we put all those things in the spotlight to make it super refined. I'm just going to move it. See, the further that thing goes away, the more blurry it gets. The further it comes around this way, the more blurry it gets. We want to get it right in there so we have a pin sharp edge to that circle. Because he's wearing these red contacts, you're going to have to get in close and have a look at that red contact. There we go. Go around, have a little look. Look at that. Yeah, that's gonna look really, really cool. Okay, so if you turn your head so you're looking towards me, cool. Now, where he's turned his head, it's now gone to that light on the far side of the face. So I'm just gonna move the light here and oh, look, it's almost spilled like a teardrop across the face there. I like that. So we're just gonna take that shot here and we should have, yeah, I like the expression. Cross the arms in front of you. Good. Turn the head this way a little bit. It's very, and now look at me, go. Good, there's your shot. Yeah, there's your shot. There, go. Oh, look at that. What a use of light. We're gonna do the same again, exactly the same again. I'm gonna move it even closer because I want that to be really, really small circle. So let's see how close we can get with this light. We're gonna just change the angle of the light here, coming down, oh, there we go. And now you see here, you're gonna have to come in close. You'll see here it's blurred on the edges. So I'm gonna have to move this modifier at the front. If we come up here, you'll see this modifier here. Let's start moving that inside and out. Go back onto the eye now. You'll see that it should go pin sharp. I think we're right on the edge of where it can and can't go pin sharp there. And I think that's it. That's as close as we're gonna be able to get. Okay, cool. Nice. Chin down just a fraction. Down a little bit more. Cool. I really like it, but we're just gonna have to move it slightly. Probably edit this bit. You can keep filming, I don't mind. You're the one who complains that your arms hurt. Okay, so there we go. And it's just there. There we go, so we've moved that closer still. That's nice. Let's just see how that looks here. Turn the head away from me. Okay, no, back, there. Chin up. Turn the head away just slightly. It's tiny movement there. Close the eyes. Open the eyes. Nice. Cool. That looks like he's wearing like a reverse Batman mask. Turn the head so you're looking towards me now. That's it. And we'll just see if we can actually get this spotlight to go across both eyes. That'll be interesting. So we can focus on, there we go. So we can focus on both eyes. By moving the direction of it, there we go, having it going across. Modifying it again so we get it pin sharp. There we go, we should get something that's a little bit different and a little bit cool there. We've almost got a little bit of Rembrandt light now. You can see how we got the little bit of triangle on the cheek. We'll see it in this shot here. So it looking towards me there, 3, 2, and 1 more. Perfect. So that's how we could use a mini spot to create something just a little bit different. I really like that first one there. I think that's really strong. Lovely little shot. Join us in the next video and we'll show you how we can use dry ice in this set to create something super different and make him look like a wolf that's appeared like American Werewolf in London, American Werewolf in Portsmouth.
And with that visual of Rick Mail, we drop you out of this video and showcase what's coming up next time, where we utilize a dry ice machine to elevate these portraits even further and get you amazing images in camera. In the meantime, download your free posing guide from nofussmust.com and also your bespoke 1 light, 2 light and 3 lighting tutorial and workshops to elevate your photography. Go to nofussmust.com and download your tutorial today.